Hello. American Silver Eagle sales plummet 75% in July as silver price soars. Now this sounds like a dramatic decrease in sales of American Silver Eagles, and it is, but there's a little more to the story. Each and every month, Small Gold provides the U.S. Mint sales figures for American Silver Eagles. Now these sales figures are not the sales each month done by retail dealers, but rather the sales that the U.S. Mint sells to its authorized purchasers. Authorized purchasers have a special arrangement with the U.S. Mint, and they buy each and every month their Silver Eagles from the U.S. Mint at a price, it's always the same, of $2 per coin over the spot price of silver. They, for the most part, don't sell directly. APMEX is a authorized purchaser, but for the most part, the authorized purchasers then sell to other dealers. Now, what happened in July is the sales of American Silver Eagles to authorized purchasers were down significantly from last month when they were 2.8 million, and down significantly from the about average of 4.3 million that were sold each and every month from January to June this year. So what accounts for the fall? Well, the first thing people are thinking of, there's no way that sales of American Silver Eagles fell 75% in July. There's just no way that could have happened. Well, there is a way that could have happened. And Craig Hemke over at Turd Ferguson is right to point out that sales did not fall off a cliff. Retail sales did not fall off a cliff in July, despite the fact that the sales to the authorized purchasers fell off a cliff in July. And he points to a Tremendous Silver Doctor's blog post and conversation with Bill Murphy, where the U.S. Mint had lifted the allocation, had removed the allocation of 1 million Silver Eagles per week to authorized purchasers, and then said that the authorized purchasers can buy as much as they want. Instead of buying as much as they want, they stopped buying pretty much altogether in July. And the reason for that is that they are already well stocked for the first 4 or 5 months of 2016, which means now that this, and here's why you can't have it both ways. It is correct to point out that retail sales did not fall off the table in July, but it also means that I point out in the sales report, because I'm not going to change how I do my reporting. I'm always going to report what was sold to authorized purchasers. The number of American Silver Eagles sold to authorized purchasers is what I report on each every month. But I did include a clarifying note that the U.S. Mint has rationed the American Silver Eagle sales all year to the authorized purchasers, so about 1 million a week. And those sales, and those authorized purchasers were picking up those 1 million a week each and every week for the first 5 months of the year. So the authorized purchasers, now being well stocked, slowed down their purchases because they already have, and that's why you're seeing many of the silver bullion dealers selling Silver Eagles at about $250 over the spot price, because they're well stocked. And they stopped buying Silver Eagles, the authorized purchasers, in July because they have a tremendous amount of inventory. Now, if retail sales continue, next month and the following months, you'll see an increase in authorized purchaser sales because they'll start to rebuild back their inventory. But that hasn't happened yet. But the main point that I'd like to make is that if you want to say that retail sales did not fall off the table in July, which is correct, just because the authorized purchasers slowed their purchases, that also means you can't say, however, though, that retail sales were, quote, skyrocketing earlier in the year, because the sales that we were reporting on earlier in the year were skyrocketing authorized purchaser sales, which, had the authorized purchasers been selling each and every American Silver Eagle that they bought, they wouldn't have all this inventory right now. So earlier in the year, the sales that we reported on at Small Gold, that the U.S. Mint reported on at Small Gold, as increased record sales to authorized purchasers, didn't necessarily reflect record retail sales earlier in the year, just as retail sales in July haven't fallen off the table. So, however, just to clear that up, from now on, we will continue only to report on sales to authorized purchasers. And as the Silver Doctors note, that this dynamic should smooth its way out over the next few months as the inventory is sold down by the authorized purchasers as they unload their Silver Eagles to retail dealers, and they should pick up their sales later on in the year. But as of July, it is factually correct to say sales fell off the table to authorized purchasers, just as it's factually correct to say sales to authorized purchasers earlier in the year were at record levels. Thank you very much for listening. We'll talk to you soon.